Welcome back to this week's episode. I'm Randy Price.
And I'm Matt Price.
And together we're the Price Group. Our goal with this show is to provide weekly tidbits of sound advice related to your retirement and also your wealth planning. Today's show is going to talk about common mistakes to avoid with your retirement nest egg. We don't want the fox to get in the retirement hen house.
You know, there's quite a few to talk about. We picked what we considered a few of the top things we do have discussions with clients about. Lack of having an investment process would be.
Yeah, if it's not written down, it's not a plan. A lot of people have told me it's right up here, but if it's right up here, it needs to be down on paper. If it's not written down, it's not a plan, and it's so very important to make sure that it's looked at and changed on a regular basis. Without a plan, you don't have the comfort, the confidence, or the certainty to weather all the storms of retirement, and we absolutely guarantee there's going to be plenty of those throughout retirement.
And more specifically, the plan Randy's referring to, we call ours a live well plan. We want clients to live well in retirement. And so this includes cash flow projections. We take everything into account, more so than just the investments. We're looking at inflation rates. We're using conservative rates of return moving forward. We're factoring your spending, gifts to grandkids. The list goes on, and we'll have you living past the age of 90. So congratulations. Our goal with this planning is to make sure you have enough to do what you want and what you need to do in retirement.
And I'm reminded of that old Warren Buffett quote. Warren said, you don't have to be smarter than all the rest, you just have to have more discipline. And having a plan will give you that discipline that you need to have. Also, time in the market is more important than timing of the market. A lot of investment advisors like to talk about getting in, getting out of the market, and that's okay, but it's time in the market, time invested, that is so very important. Peter Lynch talked about was asked a question, what was his greatest regret of managing one of the most successful mutual funds in the history of investing? And he said, without pausing a beat, he said the average return for the investor was nowhere near the overall return of the market. And the reporter was somewhat perplexed and said, well, how did that happen? And he said, think about it. People got in at the wrong time. They sold at the wrong time. They were trying to time the market, and they were unsuccessful, and it led to bad investment results. So it's time rather than timing in the stock market.
And having a process with your investments is vital and kind of plays on that same theme. It's what do you own, but why do you own it? And having a process for which stocks you own, which bonds you own, really is the difference in a successful and a not successful plan. Another main thing to avoid pitfall in retirement is outdated estate plans or beneficiary designations. That's something you hear talked about personally. I talked about it with clients for 6 years and never actually got around to doing it until we had our first little girl. So it's easy for someone to say, hey, you need to get this done, and I'm a living example that it's not something fun to do. But once you do have your estate plans in place, it really is a peace of mind.
We really have enjoyed that first grandchild, I want you to know. So yeah, estate plans, not fun to talk about death or disability, but it's so very important, and we absolutely guarantee once you get it done, it's a check mark that provides a lot of weight off your shoulders. I'm reminded of a client who went in for a basic medical test and had a bad reaction to some medicine and lost both short and long-term memory for the rest of his life. Unfortunately, getting estate plans done was on their list, but they'd never gotten around to it, and therefore they had to declare him publicly incompetent and make an accounting to the court every year about where money was coming in and where money was spent. They needed to take a vacation. They had to get permission from the court to do so, and it was a lot of needless worry. So, ounce of prevention, worth the pound of cure, especially when it comes to estate planning.
Referring to other insurances is something we think is very important to look at periodically. Your home, your auto, your liability is a big one.
Yeah, liability coverage is relatively inexpensive unless you have 3 teenagers that are driving all at the same time. So let's review your insurance coverages on a regular basis, making sure that you have plenty of liability in case you would happen to hit someone or you would need that liability insurance. Hope it doesn't happen, but again, sound plan covers a lot of bases, and that's what we're here for. We're here to give you some feedback. Everyone needs a wealth coach, and our mission is to deliver trust, transparency, and accountability to our clients with these weekly broadcasts. So see our website if you'd like to sign up for our weekly market commentary, and we hope to see you at one of our educational events in the near future.
That's all for this episode of Houston's Wealth Coach Podcast. To get in touch with Randy and Matt, please visit their website at pricegroupwealth.com. That's pricegroupwealth.com. You have worked too hard and too long over your career to leave your wealth management and retirement planning to chance. Create your Live Well plan today by scheduling your complimentary meeting with Randy and Matt. Also, don't forget to sign up for their weekly market commentary for additional insight pertaining to current events, investor tidbits, and retirement planning. The Price Group looks forward to hosting you at an upcoming educational event in your area.